Poor waste management practices, in particular, widespread dumping of waste in water bodies and uncontrolled dump sites, aggravate the problems of generally low sanitation level across Nigeria. And at a time when diversification is the trend, we might turn to waste to drive revenue. Hence, our focus on Business Nigeria today. Welcome. I am Yemisi Landredo. Solid waste management seems to be a growing problem in Nigeria, partially due to urbanization and general lack of resources. Now, before we can talk about waste to wealth, let's see what can be made out of what we call waste.
This is the Awada Obosi Waste Market, where like-minded individuals daily manage waste generated in Onitsha and environs in a special way and make good money doing so. Behind this gate and wall lies a large expanse of land where waste, particularly plastics brought in by scavengers who had gone to dump sites to fetch them, are sorted according to color and crossed to sizes that can be used to manufacture new products. At the market, we witnessed a lot of activities that thoroughly impressed us and left us excited about how creative some Nigerians have become in waste management. These people producing grease cups and camper discs are just a few out of many in the market engaged in such work. Some who do not have the machines or capacity to turn the crushed plastics into finished products simply bag and sell them to industries that need them as raw materials. Mrs. Chinwe Maduadichie belongs to this class in the market.
They normally come here to buy from us. At times we sell 70 naira, 60 naira.
A bag?
No, per kg, after crushing it.
At various dump sites in Asaba and Onitsha, many adults and youths, including children, can be seen braving the offensive odor from the refuse dumps to look for waste that can be turned to wealth at the end of the day. The scavengers say they need government assistance, however little it might be, to enable them continue in the waste management chain that has invariably improved the sanitary state of the streets and roads of most cities lately.
All right, there is more. TVC News Wendy will also takes a look at the wealth available in our waste.
Waste is what it is, waste. And almost everyone treats it as such, so much so that it is often dumped indiscriminately on the streets. A typical drainage channel in Lagos is characterized by mile-long plastics products, but one lady has since discovered that she could make money out of waste. Meet Adesuwa Makinwa, who converts waste to craft.
Just waste piled up, and I was like, this is a problem that needs to be solved. So I was like, okay, how do I solve this problem? Not everybody can afford these big machines used for recycling. So I was like, okay, I think plastic bottles, cans can be turned into valuable things, beautiful things, introducing crafts.
She makes handbags, earrings, necklaces from PET bottles, pop tops, etc. She also goes to primary schools to teach pupils how to convert waste to craft.
It's very interesting, it's very beautiful, there's a lot of fun in producing it.
They say now that they know what to do with waste, they will no longer watch their schools get littered. Environmental activist Desmond Majekodume tells us there are so many profitable things one can do with waste.
Several agencies around now, including, I believe, our LOMA and the recycle people, is just to get the PET bottles, put them in, and they will give you cash for your plastic PET bottles.
He says waste can indeed be a very good source of income. Bilikisu Adebiyi knows all about making money from waste. She owns a recycling business that not just makes money for her, but is also a source of employment for others.
In exchange for sorting out their waste, they get redeemable points, which they can
get, redeemed for prizes.
This is the Lagos State Waste Management Authority Waste Hub, operated in tandem with independent recyclers. Ample time and effort are expended here, sorting category by category. Compiling. Power supply is a major challenge now facing the country. Experts say if converted, the piles and heaps of waste dotting the country can be converted to energy. There is wealth indeed in waste. Everyone is encouraged to start seeing the opportunities in waste, as it will not only be economically viable, it will also keep the environment clean and conducive. Wendy Abo, TVC News, Lagos.
All right, I'm glad to have Desmond himself in the studio with me to talk more about this. Many thanks for coming on, Desmond Majokodunmi. It's so good to have you here. And you were in that report, you heard so much about how waste can be turned into wealth. And we know that small businesses drive the economy of any country. Now, that's for small businesses. How can we get so much from waste management?
Oh, yes.
How much? Because we're talking so much about diversification now. Is it somewhere we could look at?
Absolutely. It's the new business horizon. That is where the new business is. Green industry. And waste is just one part of it, but it's a very big part of it because, hey, guess what? Every day you're going to get more of your raw material. Human beings are consuming and wasting different products on a daily basis. So it's continuous. And it's how that waste is managed that can be determined how much profit you can make from it. It's a very viable area that should be gone into. Other countries have done it and they've had tremendous success doing it.
Tremendous success doing it, and it's been so long you've been in this campaign. Now, is the government doing anything at all?
Absolutely.
In this,
oh, yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us more in clear terms?
If we're talking about Lagos,
okay.
Lagos.
As a case study now, Lagos, okay.
A primary case study. Okay. Because in years gone by, Lagos became a very, very filthy city. We were not managing our waste well at all, especially during the dark days of the military interventions. Things just fell apart. Lagos was actually a really, really nice city at one time. Lagos was actually green, clean, and pristine at one time, apart from being one of the first cities in the world to have electric street lights. Lagos, green, clean, pristine. And then the military intervention came in, accountability went out, things started falling apart, and we lost our green spaces, we lost the management of the waste systems, and because the population had a massive explosion, and with that population, you're going to get a lot of waste. Lagos became a really, really dirty, dirty city. It was renowned as one of the filthiest cities in the whole world. But when the new democratic dispensation started, some very forward-thinking people established the templates. They actually set up a template. They took several months before they even went into power and took a template on how we're going to handle and get Lagos back to its pristine nature. So as a result of that, over the last few years, we've seen dramatic improvement, dramatic changes in terms of waste. We had the LOMA system that was set up, which was our waste management system, and they were taking plastic waste and they were recycling, buying in the plastic waste. They were taking organic waste and using that
Now in your records, can you tell us, can you quantify it, how much Lagos has made? Do you have it in figures?
No, I don't have the actual figures, but I can tell you a lot of money has been made because Loma now became self-sufficient. Loma was set up by the Lagos State government, where they became self-sufficient, and it's a large setup, a large organization. And as a result of that, they've been able to work with a lot of individuals, a lot of people who have their own waste trucks or the waste carts and so on. They have been spending money into the system, employing a lot of people. And in fact, LOMA, the waste management system of Lagos, was replicated in several other states of the Federation and other countries in Africa.
Okay.
So Lagos was way ahead of the race.
Okay, but that's talking about the state. Now, because we know that if anything is going to be good, it has to start with the individual. Okay, now, and we know that there is the management culture is very poor. Now, what's the awareness level? Because we saw it in that report, we could see just a few people dealing in that kind of business.
Yeah, the challenge is that, you know, we as Nigerians, we as Africans have to come to terms with technology. You know, in days gone by, and I'm sure you must have enjoyed it yourself, moi moi. Moi moi was cooked in leaves.
Exactly.
Yeah. And in those days, if you cook your moi moi in the leaf and you throw it into the bush, you're already recycling. It goes back into the earth and so on. But nowadays, hey, moi moi is what? Plastic containers, you know? And those plastic containers will be there year after year, decade after decade. You know, so it's like a mindset thing. Things are not what they used to be. You know, modern technology has set in, and we have to learn how to deal with the negatives of modern technology. And that is learning how to deal with each other. So as you rightly said, massive awareness needs to be done. Massive awareness. But one of the things that will encourage the people is if you tell them, look, it can be profitable. These PET bottles, you know, PET bottles, if you save them up, you can sell them.
Of course, we saw it there.
Big money.
I would want you to hold your thoughts, because I'm also bringing somebody that we saw in that package, Bilkisu Adebi Abiola, who is actually involved in that business. Wow. We want her to come on and tell us what it's like to start such a business, Waste to Wealth. I will take a break now on Business Nigeria, and we'll come back for more. You're watching Business Nigeria, and our focus has been waste to wealth. It's a time that Nigeria is looking beyond the oil, and we're talking about waste to wealth. Perhaps we could get more from our waste that we have in the system. And I'm glad to have environmentalist Desmond Majakodumi. He's been with me on the show. And also, I told before I went away on that break that operator in waste management, Bilkisu Adebi Abiola, she's also here in the studio. Many thanks for joining me. All right, now, by the way, I would also tell you that they were awarded Eco Heroes. Congratulations to you both.
Thank you very much.
Maybe you could tell us more about this award.
It was actually a very prestigious award because it was in conjunction with one of the top German television stations, Deutsche Welle, and a local Nigerian station, and it held in Abuja, and they deemed us fit to be worthy to be awarded as Eco Heroes. So I'm going to make my Superman costume now.
All right, Bilkisu, you also got an award, and that's very good for a small business person.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's not a small business.
No, it's a small
you must be making so much from it.
No, people think we're making millions and millions, but there is a lot of opportunity in the waste sector. But we started very small because we wanted to really grow, you know, stage by stage. And it's been very encouraging so far.
Okay, tell us what inspired you, because I'm sure many small businesses would be watching this now, and they want to know more how you were able to turn waste into wealth.
Absolutely, I think
we saw it there. Really, it's a huge one.
Yes, definitely. For me, what made me want to go into waste was just seeing all the huge waste that we generate in Nigeria and seeing how it impacts people. You know, many of us are used to just flinging our waste indiscriminately. We don't really practice proper waste management, and we don't see the connection between waste and wealth. You know, so I was able to learn about, you know, how much money you can make from, you know, waste packaging, and came to Nigeria. I was schooling in the US, came back to Nigeria to start Wastecyclers, and what we focus on is teaching people about, you know, how the value they can get from waste. And, you know, we started very small. We partnered with the Lagos State government, and they supported us. They gave us access to their sites, and, you know, we've been able to grow from there.
All right, before we go into the technicalities, and I'm sure my producer would want to give me some of the visuals from your company there, can you tell us, is this something you could reveal how much you make on a daily basis, really?
I don't think so.
enough to keep going. Enough to keep a smile on your face.
Really?
But the smile is very big, so it must be quite a lot, eh?
No, we have 80 employees. Okay. So for us, we're a social enterprise.
80, really?
So we're a social enterprise. So our focus is not really profits. You know, we want to be sustainable. but we want to be able to impact people first. So that's how we measure ourselves, is how many people we are able to impact. So we currently have 10,000 subscribers to, that are registered on our service. Like I said, we have 80 employees, and we are able to divert, thousands of tons of waste from, these communities. And this waste would otherwise have been in the, in the drains and would have been a nuisance.
Okay, so what's the cycle on a daily basis?
With the cycle, how it works?
Exactly, how it works.
Absolutely. So we have, sites, we call them hubs, where we, collate the waste. So we have collectors, cyclists, we call them recyclers. We also have motorized tricycles. They go around in communities, they collect these recyclable wastes, and then they bring them to our hubs where they are sorted and processed, and then they are sold to recyclers. So we basically turn waste into a commodity that are inputs to recycling companies.
So are people paid?
Absolutely, people are paid. Yes.
I mean, if you come to my home now and say, okay, you're trying to get my waste, am I going to be paid?
Yes.
Really? How much?
It's not that much money. So it's,
but how much?
You're not going to become rich. But it's definitely
at least it starts from something, Yes. Yes. And I think people can have the culture of actually, keeping their waste when they know something is going to come out of it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, and there's a lot of people that they do it, as a token. It's a token. But there's some people that actually do it and they collect this waste, and it's the way they survive. They use it to fill up what on their needs. We had someone that her daughter was getting married, and she had gotten enough points to get money and use it towards the wedding. It's a token, but it's useful.
Okay, this is some sort of advocacy, if I may say. Now, what have you done so far? Let's go beyond your level now and go to probably the state or the government, because we are looking at diversification, and this is a means for diversification. What have you done?
So we've been working very closely with the state government, and we've all seen that this waste is actually a very big, the biggest problem that we have now in Nigeria. Diversification, we need job creation, and we need to be able to really work hard at creating jobs that would reduce youth unemployment. And the waste sector is a very big one. Like Mr. Majekodumi said earlier, that Loma engages people with we call them PSPs, with trucks, and they're employing people. And there's so much more opportunity in Lagos and in other states. If we are able to organize it properly, we'll be able to really unlock so much potential job creation and economic development.
Okay, so Majekodumi, let me come to you now. How do you encourage people to come into this kind of business? Is there any form of a complexity?
Yeah, there is, because if they don't do it, you see, this is the other side of the coin. And that's why, it's even interesting that they are ready to pay you to give them the waste. Because when you really look at the reality of the situation, you would be happy to pay them to take your waste. Yeah, because if we don't handle waste effectively, the waste will deal with us in so many ways.
Exactly, because if you look at when there are rains and floods, you see the waste blocking the drainages, and the government has to spend so much clearing the drainages.
And that's just the plastic waste blocking the drainages. There's also the organic waste. It's good that they are dealing with the plastic waste, and that's very, very important.
Do you have an idea how much our government has lost to that? To managing the waste.
You can't really quantify it, because not only have they lost economic value, we've lost lives. If you don't handle your waste properly, you're going to have disease outbreak. And a lot of the illnesses that we get, and we are connected on the medical side, so we know what happens. A lot of diseases that come out are avoidable, and simply avoidable by removing the waste. Organic waste will bring parasites, will bring germs, bacteria, and people will fall ill. And that's just the organic waste. On the side of the plastic waste, what we're actually doing is that we're killing off our oceans, we're killing off the sea bodies, we're killing off the lakes and the lagoons, because these plastics go in there, especially the very, very small ones, and when they break up into tiny little particles, and especially the polyvinyls, they go in there, and the seas, the sea creatures, the fishes and all those, they can't identify. And they'll be eating them, and so many fish are caught now that have died. And when they cut up in the stomach and they find that it's plastic that has killed this fish, it is dangerous and it must be dealt with. So that's one side of the coin, that, hey, waste must be dealt with. And the other side of the coin is you can actually make some money dealing with the waste.
Well, you can make some money dealing with the waste, and something must be done urgently to curb it. Back to you, Bilkis. How much does it take to start this kind of business?
You'd be surprised at how many people have started it, and you don't really need that much capital. And it just depends on how you want to get involved. Do you want to be a waste collector? Do you want to be a processor? Do you want to be a recycler? And as you go along the value chain, then that means the amount of money you will need will increase. So I think for people that want to start this business, they should do their research. There are established recyclers that they can reach out to and understudy, that can provide them with mentorship, and then they can learn how to get into the business, because it is a very good business.
Okay, but is there some sort of, because he mentioned technology, is there some sort of, would I say, machines that you need?
Absolutely.
That you might need. So is it very expensive?
Yes. So it depends. So waste is very complicated. There are different kinds of waste. So like Mr. Bajakobi said, there's organic waste, there's recyclable waste, there's combustible waste.
Talking about recyclable waste now.
Recyclable waste, there's plastic waste, so that's plastic bottles, there's cans. So it depends on what you want to do. So you can have a baling machine that could cost you up to maybe 1 million. You could have a crushing machine, maybe that's another 1 million. So it depends on what kind of investment the person can have and what they want to do. But they need to be really, the most important thing I would say is they should do their research, because
research is very crucial.
Very, very key. It's very key. Do your research, understand the business properly, because it's like any business, it's going to have its cycles. But it's a very good business. Okay. Has there been any point of regrets for you? Wow. In this business? No, I don't know. No, I'm very excited. I'm very happy. What about you?
Yeah. Has there been any point where you've had the regrets that, why are people not listening? Because I know you've been in this campaign for a long time.
In days gone by, one felt a little bit foolish, like a voice in the wilderness. But just recently, what has happened has been so encouraging, with 170 plus world leaders coming to Paris under the auspices of the United Nations. And this is the first time that the United Nations has been able to pull that many world leaders together. At the General Assembly, they'll have quite a lot, but a lot of them just send their representatives. This time, world leaders came and they signed this accord. And basically, even though it was a climate change accord, has a lot to do with waste, basically it was just to say, hey, we're now listening to the voice of the people. But the voice of the people has been projected by who? The media houses. So you guys also should be getting awards, because if you want, if they didn't project it,
Okay, awards will be coming to us soon, I'm sure, with your words. All right, I must thank you very, very much. It's been an interesting one talking to you both on Business Nigeria. Desmond Majakobi, many thanks for your time. Thank you. And also Bilkis, we really appreciate your time on Business Nigeria. All right, before we go, we have to look at other stories, and that's talking about crude oil. Crude oil prices are ticking up again in the world market as commodity values appreciate. Now, at the London market, the European Brent trades for $44 per barrel, raising keen interest in market circles. The OPEC basket brand equally jumps up at $40 a barrel in early trade. Well, that's our package for today on Business Nigeria. Many thanks for watching, and do help in turning your waste into wealth. I'm Yemisi Landry-Do.